Hi friends, I'm excited to show you my latest physics toy. It's called Newton's Cradle. So let's try it out. Now what do you think will happen if I pull this ball and I release it? Let's find out. Isn't it interesting? Now what do you think will happen if I pull two balls? As you can see, this time two balls come out on the other side. Now can you guess what will happen if I pull three balls here? So let's see. As expected, three balls come out now and three balls are there in each oscillation. I bought this Newton's Cradle on Amazon. If you're interested in getting this for yourself or as a gift, I'll put the link in the description below. This toy is based on the principle of conservation of momentum, and that's going to be the topic of this video. We look at the principle and I'm going to show you some simple techniques on how to apply it to solve questions. I'm sure after watching this video, you'll be able to solve any question on conservation of momentum. And do try the quiz and the top 3 questions on this topic. Links are given below the video. I'm sure you've heard of the law of conservation of energy. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Energy changes from one form to another. Similarly, we have the principle of conservation of momentum, which states that the total momentum before the collision is equal to the total momentum after the collision. In fact, this toy demonstrates both the principle of conservation of momentum and the law of conservation of energy. Let me show you how. So to simplify things, instead of using 5 balls, we are just going to use 2 balls so that there's only one collision. When I pull this ball and release it, a collision between the 2 balls happen. The other ball goes up and then again it comes back and they collide again, and so on. According to the principle of conservation of momentum, the total momentum in a collision is conserved. The momentum is conserved for an isolated system with no external forces. Here the isolated system is these 2 balls, and as you can see, there is no external force. So when the 2 balls will collide, the momentum will be conserved in the collision. Now let me ask you, what is momentum? That's right, momentum is defined as the product of mass and velocity. And remember, the symbol of momentum is P. So we write P equals mv. So the momentum of this ball gets transferred to the other ball during collision, and the momentum gets again transferred in the next collision, and so on. Similarly, when the ball falls from a height, the potential energy of the ball gets converted to kinetic energy and gets transferred to the other ball. The other ball then gains potential energy and comes down again with kinetic energy, and the total energy of the system is conserved. If there was no air friction and energy losses, these oscillations would keep continuing on and on forever. So both the total momentum and total energy of the system would be conserved. Now the same thing applies when all the balls are used. As you can see, there are multiple collisions between the balls, and again the total momentum and total energy of the system is conserved. We will focus on the principle of conservation of momentum. As we discussed, momentum is the product of mass and velocity. And what's the unit of momentum? That's right, kg meter per second. It's really easy to derive it from the formula. The formula of momentum is P equal to mv, and the unit of mass is kg, and the unit of velocity is meter per second. So the SI unit is going to be kg meter per second. So according to the conservation of momentum, during a collision, the product of mass and velocity is conserved. Now let's use these 2 balls and their collision to derive the principle of conservation of momentum. Let's say the mass of this red ball is m1 and the mass of this green ball is m2. Now before the collision, let's say the red ball was moving with the velocity of u1 and the green ball was moving with the velocity of u2. Now after the collision, let's say the velocity of the red ball is v1 and the velocity of our green ball is v2. So let's use the collision of these two balls and go to our board and derive the formula for conservation of momentum. Let's draw a diagram of the two balls before the collision, during the collision and after the collision. First, let's start with before the collision. So I'm going to draw the red ball and green ball before the collision. The mass of the red ball is m1. The mass of the green ball is m2. The red ball is moving with an initial velocity of u1 and the green ball is moving with an initial velocity of u2. Now since the balls are moving towards each other, they collide. So let's draw the diagram during the collision. So this is the red ball colliding with the green ball here. Again, let's label the same mass m1 and m2. And after the collision, the red ball moves back with a velocity of v1. So let's mark that here. So this is our red ball and the green ball also moves back with a final velocity of v2. So let's label the green ball here. Now during the collision, the red ball exerts a force on the green ball. So let's label that as F2. So F2 is the force on M2, the green ball. And similarly, the green ball exerts a force on the red ball. And let's label that as F1. So that's the force on M1, the red ball. This is during the collision. I'm marking the collision with a yellow dot here, right? So the two balls are colliding here. Now, how are these two forces related? F1 and F2. That's right. By Newton's third law, they are equal and opposite. Because you know Newton's third law, to every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So we can write that F1 equals minus F2. Equal and opposite. The negative sign indicates that it's in the opposite direction. And from Newton's second law, we know that force equals rate of change of momentum. So remember the formula, F equals mv minus u, the change in momentum divided by the time. So force is rate of change of momentum. Now let's use this formula, F equals mv minus u by t for F1 and F2. So F1 is going to be m1 v1 minus u1. So this is for the red ball divided by t1, where t1 is the time of the collision for the first ball. And that we can say equals, now let's use the same formula for F2. We'll have to put a minus sign there. And so that's going to be minus m2 v2 minus u2 divided by t2, the time of collision for the green ball, the second ball. Now what is the relation between T1 and T2, the time of collision of the first and second ball? That's right, since the two balls are colliding, the time of collision is the same. So during collision, T1 equals T2, since the time of collisions are same. And so in this equation we can cancel T1 and T2, they are equal. Now let's see what are we left with. So expanding the left hand side, we get m1 v1 minus m1 u1 equals minus of m2 v2, and the minus minus becomes plus. So we get plus m2 u2. Now let's rearrange the terms in this equation. So we are going to get m1 v1 plus m2 v2 equals m1 u1 plus m2 u2. Let's reverse this equation so that we have the initial velocities on the left hand side. So we have m1 u1 plus m2 u2 equals m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So what is the conclusion that we can draw from this final equation? Remember, the formula of momentum is mass into velocity. So m1 u1 plus m2 u2 represents the total momentum before the collision. So let's write that down. total momentum before the collision. And that is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2, which is the total momentum after the collision. So we have used Newton's third law and Newton's second law to derive the principle of conservation of momentum. m1 u1 plus m2 u2 equals m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So the total momentum before collision equals total momentum after collision, or the total initial momentum equals the total final momentum after collision. Let's look at an example how to use this principle of conservation of momentum and its formula. Let's say the mass of the red ball is 200 grams and the mass of the green ball is 100 grams. The red ball is moving with a velocity of 3 meters per second and the green ball is moving with the velocity of 1 meter per second in the opposite direction. So let's mark it in the diagram here. After the collision, the red ball continues to move with the velocity of 2 meters per second in the same direction as shown in the diagram here, and we need to find the velocity of the green ball. So let's mark that as v2 here. To solve this question, let's write down the data clearly. We have written the mass of the balls. m1 is the mass of the red ball, which is 200 gram, and m2 the mass of the green ball is 100 gram. The initial velocity of the red ball u1 equals 3 meter per second. Now what is the initial velocity of the green ball? u2, is it 1 meter per second? No, since the green ball is moving in the opposite direction, we need to write minus 1 meter per second, because remember, velocity is a vector quantity. So if we are taking the direction towards the right as positive, since the red ball is 3 meter per second, so let's write that as plus 3 meters per second. So the velocity of the green ball will be minus 1 meter per second. So this is a very important point. Please remember to write the velocities with the correct sign, since velocity is a vector quantity. For mass, we don't have to worry about the sign because mass is a scalar quantity. So similarly, the final velocity of the red ball after the collision v1, it's going to be plus 2 meters per second, because the red ball continues to move towards the right after collision. And what should be the sign of the final velocity of the green ball? v2. Since that is unknown, we don't care about the sign. We just leave it as v2, which we need to calculate. And after the calculation, we will automatically get the sign, positive or negative. So now let's apply the principle of conservation of momentum formula that we learned. So what is the formula? The total initial momentum before the collision. Remember, m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to the total final momentum after the collision. That is m1 v1 plus m2 v2. And everything is known to us in this equation except v2. So let's go ahead and substitute the values and calculate the answer. And we also don't have to convert the grams to kgs here. If you want, you can convert the gram to kg, the SI unit, but you don't need to do that because the gram is going to get cancelled anyway throughout the equation. So let's go ahead and directly substitute the values. m1 is 200 gram multiplied by u1 is plus 3, so it's 3, plus m2 is 100 gram multiplied by minus 1 equals m1, which is 200 gram multiplied by v1, which is 2, plus m2 is 100 and v2 is unknown, so we'll leave it as v2. So on solving, what do we get? 600 minus 100 equals 400 plus 100 v2, and on further solving we get 100 v2 equals 100, so v2 equals 1 meter per second. So using this formula, we have found that the green ball after collision moves with the velocity of 1 meter per second in the same direction as the red ball. Can you see in the diagram? Both of them are moving towards the right. So towards the right we considered as the positive direction, and the opposite direction towards the left was taken as the negative direction. So remember this important point. If one direction of velocity is positive, the other one is taken as negative. and you must substitute the correct sign in the data. If the velocity is unknown, then you don't have to worry about the sign because you need to find that out. And as we found here, the V2 was positive. So we know that the green ball after collision is moving towards the right. So this is how you solve the sums related to principle of conservation of momentum. Very simple. Write down the data with the correct sign for the velocities. Write down the formula m1u1 plus m2u2 equals m1v1 plus m2v2. So the total initial momentum before the collision equals total final momentum after the collision. Just plug in the values and solve. And so as you can see, it's really simple. Let's place the principle of conservation of momentum and its formula on our concept board. I hope the concept of conservation of momentum is crystal clear to you now. You can be creative and try other fun things with this Newton's cradle toy. For example, if you pull these two balls and now release them, I've put a link to this Newton's cradle in the description below, so you can check it out. And do remember to like, comment and share out this video with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, hit the subscribe button right now. And don't forget to click the notification bell to get notified about new videos. You can check my Facebook page and do check out my website manochaacademy.com for the quiz and the top 3 questions on this video. I'll put the links below. Thanks for watching.